Hello and welcome to the first round of the division sprints in the PAFR. We are at the Takair circuit in Bahrain for a one-shot qualifying and a 14-lap race. 19 drivers are involved, as we can see. So we expect to see a lot of action here today. Do feel free to get involved in the conversation during the broadcast, and maybe at the end of the race we'll get some interviews with drivers on their experience in the race. So just waiting for qualifying to begin. So you've just joined us. We're just waiting for the drivers to complete their part firme car setups, and then we'll begin. And Luke coming and saying morning to you. It is just gone past 11:30 in the UK. So the host of the lobby will be pressing the button soon. The drivers are instructed to wait once their car setup is completed. Now we're down to the last 30 seconds before qualifying does begin. So qualifying's underway then. Right on board here with Vengeance in the Williams. Brakes at the 100 metre board before turn 1. Nice the car up nicely for turns 2 and 3. And coming towards the first of the back straights towards turn 4. Brakes himself slightly, going a bit too deep there. You can hear the gear shifting as well. But he's ahead of everyone so far by sector 1. Now coming down to turn 8. And then turns 9 and 10 are next. Taking a wider line to begin with before turning the car in for turn 10, the slowest corner on the circuit. Turn 11, very nicely done, very easy to overdo it by riding those horrible curves. And there's a lot of on-camber curves here now, on-camber corners of turn 13. And then 14, and the little kink of 15 to close the lap. And Vengeance over the line will take pole position for the sprint here in Bahrain. So Midas Mellor will be on the front row next to him, ahead of Quinton and Fletch. Rishi and Luke Sheehan on the third row, followed by AA Gaming and Hervina. Smither and Pit Lane Express are next up on the fifth row, followed by Happy Kilmore. Lee Wei King behind in 12th place, ahead of Swissy Saga. CHR, followed by Adam and Suggested. B, Cromad, and then John Fant completing the grid for the race starts. Well, those inside the top 10 can start on whatever tyres they like. Oh, no, sorry, it's the other way around. The top 10 have to start the race on the same tyres as they set their qualifying time. The rest can start on whatever tyres they like. So we go on to the race then, just waiting for drivers to complete their race setups, and this 14-lap event will be underway. I don't know if we'll be doing a formation lap, so if someone within the league can inform me, that would be very much appreciated. Conditions are expected to remain dry in this one, as they more or less ever do in Bahrain. I think, to my knowledge, it only rains 3 times a year or something like that. So looking at the grid then, in terms of who is driving where, so we've got Smith in the Mercedes, we've got Gaming and Fletch at Red Bull, Bernaldo at McLaren, then it's Rishi and Cromad at Aston Martin, Lee Wei King and Happy Kilmore at Alpine, Sweaty Saga and Raz. Oh no, Sweaty Saga is in the Ferrari. B is in the AlphaTauri. Adam and John are at Alfa Romeo. Midas Mellor is in the Haas, and Vengeance is in the Williams. So we're around about 30 seconds away from the starts here. I don't know if we are going to be doing the formation lap. So Luke's coming in saying there should be a formation lap to his knowledge. I think it'll be a good opportunity for the drivers to learn the track actually, on the race fuel levels. Mind you, it is only a 14-lap race, so this race should be done within half an hour at most. We're less than half a minute away from the start of the formation lap then. The drivers go off for their formation lap then. All the drivers starting on the soft compound. So can Vengeance convert his pole position into the win? He's got a good chance of doing so from there. Minus Miller in second position on the grid. Quinton ahead of Fletch. It's a Vengeance. Coming through turn 13. It's exploring the limits of the circuit. The drivers are expected to make a pit stop during this one. Now with them all starting the softs, I can imagine they'll be going onto the mediums around about lap 6 or 7, if not sooner. But they are returning to the grid now for the start of this sprint here in Bahrain. So we're all waiting for the lights to come on when everyone is in position, and we'll get going here for the first race of the division sprint in the PAFR. The five red lights come on, and when they go out, we'll be racing here in Bahrain. It's the lights out, and away we go. Vengeance gets off the line well, as does Minus Miller, and we've got Quinton also in there, and the second Haas of Luke, who's pulling alongside the Aston Martin of Rishi, and he doesn't quite get in front there, and we've got coming together. I think drivers are in gridlock for a moment there. It's B who's stuck on the grid. He's not going any further, and if he doesn't move, he will be disqualified from the event. But we carry on as we are. Vengeance in the lead with Quinton in second place now. Rishi is third ahead, and we've got collision at the back. One of the Red Bulls has gone round. That'll be Fletch. So from being in the top 5 at the start, he's well down the order and out of contention potentially of being in the top 10 by the end of this one. But Vengeance in the lead with Quinton in second place. It's Rishi and the Aston Martin in third, with Minas ahead of Luke, Adam, and it's Saga ahead of Pit Lane Express, Happy Kilmore and Hervina running out your top 10 so far. There's still a yellow flag down at sector 1. That'll be for the AlphaTauri of B, whose car has been disqualified from the session. We're back underway under green flag conditions. Vengeance in the lead. And I wonder if... and Gaiman's dropped down the order as well. So has he and Fletch got damage? Fletch has most certainly got damage to the left-hand side of his front wing. So he'll need to come into the pits to get that changed. But we're coming to the end of lap 1 now, with Vengeance leading by 1.3 seconds. There's Quinton in second, ahead of Rishi, and Midas ahead of Luke. Adam right behind him as well, looking to make a move from where he is. No change there. I don't see any other changes through the field, although Lee Wei King going to the outside of CHR. And he pulls off the move brilliantly, I should think, although the Williams is not giving in. But they are going side by side. This is a battle for 13th position. John Fans is also in the pits for a change of nose. Fletcher's carried on, it seems, but he's had a moment down at turn 3 and he's continued. So Rishi's in third. We're ahead of Miller with Luke. Under pressure from Adam. Remember, there's no DRS for the first 2 laps of the race. You can see Chromad behind Smith. Going through turn 11. And Aston Martin trying to go to the outside into 12. And this is turn 13 they're coming up to next. Coming into the end of lap 2, then Miller into the slipstream of the Aston Martin of Rishi. Which way he's going to go? He's going to go to the inside there. He pulled out very ferociously there. It almost looked like he was going to run into the back of the Aston Martin. And the Aston Martin doing very well to fight back here. Rishi doing a good job getting back through there and using the DRS to his advantage to get back through and up into third position. Happy Kilmore behind the Ferrari of Express. And Fletch does finally pit for a new nose. Still an awful lot of work to do from where he is. He'll be hoping for a safety car at this point. So Vengeance has a 1.7 second margin. Quinton's in second place. We've got Rishi, another 2.7 behind in third place. Miller and Luke are behind with Adam, Saga, Express and Kilmore. Next up, Kilmore going to the inside of Express into turn 11. There are 3 DRS zones on this Sakir circuit on the start-finish straight in between turns 3 and 4 and in between turns 10 and 11. Just saw Rishi going wide there and losing a bit more time. He's got away with it, but he's not going to be having the benefit of DRS on the start-finish straight, unlike Miller. He's looking to have a go on him into turn 1. We've just seen the Alfa Romeo of Adam going to the outside of Luke as they head into turn 1, and Adam gets in front of the Haas. So Adam starting to make a move as Lee Wei King comes into the pits, albeit too quickly, and therefore gets a 5-second penalty for that. Kilmore under pressure from the Ferrari, almost going wide there as the Ferrari goes to the outside. Oh, they come together. They did make contact there, and it looks like Sweaty has crashed out on the exit of turn 4, and we've got a safety car now. So the first safety car of the race comes on lap 4. And it's good news for those who have just pitted, particularly Fletch, who was one of those battling at the front. But Sweaty Saga has lost it on the exit of turn 4. His race is over. And we have our first safety car of the race. That wipes out Vengeance's lead. Now, will he and Quinton come in at the end of this lap? Now, Fletch has just come into the pits, actually. What tyres he's gone back? He's gone back out in a set of mediums. So Vengeance comes in. There's Luke coming in as well. He thought about not pitting in. Oh, and the Ferraris ran into the back of him. Oh, Pit Lane Express should have thought better of that, to be honest with you. And they've been penalised for it. If I'm getting out in front of the Williams of ZHR, I should say. So Vengeance has caught up to the safety car. Quinton behind in second place. I think Luke has lost out badly in all that because of the penalty of which he had needed to have taken. Or he might not have taken the penalty in that stop. So if he doesn't pit again, that'll be his time added at the end of the race. ZHR runs wide. And John Fans comes in for a set of mediums. And he will catch up to the back of the field before this race does get back underway again. So Vengeance leaves behind the safety car. Quinton in second place. It's Rishi ahead of Miller, Adam, Kilmore, Pavina, Smith, Cromad and Luke, who's in 10th place and with a penalty hanging over him. He's got 15 seconds worth as Luke. That'll be for the collision and for speeding in the pit lane. He may have just been involved in another collision as well, so that's something to bear in mind. He may decide to pit in at the end of this lap to take some of the penalty. So Vengeance leads. The yellow lights on the safety car are still on, which means it will go around for at least one more lap. And Rishi's just got ahead, actually, of Quinton, who's gone round by the looks of things. He has. So Quinton's had a spin under the safety car conditions. Oh, and someone's gone into the barrier. It's the Haas of Luke, and he's out of the race. Confusion raises as to who was meant to let through who, but Luke's crashed into the barrier under safety car conditions. So he's out of the race, is Luke. Just hope we don't get too many more incidents like that during the rest of this one. So just has been penalised for ignoring yellow flags. So Vengeance in the lead now, with Rishi now second, thanks to Quinton's spin. 6 drivers do have time penalties to their name. They are... Oh, and it looks like John's also crashed out. So John has crashed out under safety car conditions. He was right at the back of the field, was John. He's going no further either. So Vengeance will be back in the field as the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. And Quinton's fallen down the order even more now. He's fallen to the back of the field. Another spin for him. And Vengeance and Rishi's been penalised for... Oh, and he's caught up to the safety car there. You're not really supposed to be that close to it on the restart. But we're underway anyway. Side by side into turn 1 go Vengeance and Rishi. And Rishi's through into the lead. So Vengeance is going to have to play catch up here. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart. So he's going to have to really dig deep and get back in front of him again. Which he is doing so into turn 4 now. And Vengeance retakes the lead. Or so he thought. And there's someone off. And it's Leeway King's gone off at turn 3. Gaiman's in the pit. Presumably for a new nose. But Rishi's in front then, with Vengeance in second place. Then it's Mella in third ahead of Adam, who's all over the back of the Haas as they go into turns 9 and 10. Contact made between the Haas and the Alfa Romeo. And the Alfa Romeo gets in front there. And Hervina gets in on the act here as he goes to the outside of Mella. The two make contact there, but Hervina, round the outside, gets through. So good move there from the McLaren. So Smith in 7th place ahead of Express and Chromad. ZHR ahead of Quinton, who's up to 11th on the restart. So coming around the last turn then to complete lap 7. Rishi in the lead, Vengeance into the slipstream alongside. And he's back into the lead again, is the Williams. Express doing the switchback there on the Mercedes of Smith. So they go into turn 4. No problem for him there. He goes through, so good move. And Rishi's been penalised for track limits as well, so he'll be watching his mirrors because he's got an 8-second time penalty. Vengeance has a 5-second time penalty to his name. And someone's gone off. It's Suggested, who's ripped off his front wing. They'll be in back into the pits. And we've got a virtual safety car because of the leftover debris. Now, how long will the virtual safety car remain out there for? I wouldn't have thought it'd be too long. As it stands, Adam would be the one winning this race. And we're back on the way again. DRS has also been enabled. We're coming towards turns 1 now. Smith has just got in front of Pit Lane Express for 8th place, or 7th place I should say. And Express gets back through again. Suggested entering the pit lane. He's also penalised for speeding. Don't know if he'll choose to continue after that, to be quite honest with you. Someone's gone for a spin. It's the other McLaren. It's Hervina this time. So Hervina's gone off on the exit of turn 7. Rejoins down in 12th position. The driver's coming round now towards turns 12 and 13. Rishi right behind the Williams. They are pulling away from the pack now, which would be good news for their race. Someone's gone off at turn 12. Is that... Oh, it's the Ferrari of Express who's lost his front wing this time. So are we going to need another virtual safety car for that? Still no change at the front. Adam is behind in 3rd place as Miller is another 4 seconds adrift. Express is being penalised for speeding. As the Mercedes dives to the inside, that'll be Quinton going up to 7th place. So he's recovering well after his melodies under the safety car. And someone else has gone off. This time it's the Williams of ZHR. He's continuing on his way. He's dropped down the order through all that. So Vengeance still in the lead. Rishi behind in 2nd. Now Vengeance would drop to what would be 2nd place at this rate. Rishi would fall down. He would fall down to 4th place as it stands. But we've still got 4 laps remaining at the end of this one. So Rishi still within a second of Vengeance, which means he can still use the DRS for when they get onto the pit straight. Rear wing open on the Aston Martin. Quinton into the slipstream of his Mercedes teammate Smith. Into turn 1, there's also the Alpine of Kilmore in there. Quinton slows down in time to allow his teammate go through. He'll use the DRS, as will his teammates. They were both within a second of the car in front. Quinton gets down the inside, doesn't budge his teammate too much, and he goes up into 6th place. So great fight back here from Quinton. Oh, he spun it! Quinton spun it on the exit of turn 7. Pushing too hard there, probably getting carried away after his move on Smith. And has fallen back down to 10th behind Hervina. Half a second is the difference between Vengeance and Rishi. DRS open on the Aston Martin. Vengeance will need to go defensive here. He's harvesting energy, hence why he's not going as quick as Rishi down the straight. Rishi doesn't quite get the job done there. And Smith gets past Kilmore before turn 1 to go up into 6th position as Quinton comes in. Now, will he decide to carry on or will he call it quits? He's going for a set of these soft compound tyres. He's got no time penalty to his name. And someone's gone off at turn 2 this time, or sector 2. And it's the McLaren of Suggested who's crashed out on the exit of turn 8. So that's another retirement. Quinton rejoins in 13th place behind Gaiman. But with him being on much fresher tyres, much more grippy tyres, should be able to close in the remaining laps. So with the gap as it is, Vengeance would still keep hold of the race victory because Rishi has a time penalty that's worse than his, and Adam is over 5 seconds off the lead. So Vengeance doing all he can to win this race. Rishi with DRS. Not going for it into turn 1. Probably going to wait until the next DRS zone. Oh, he got bad drive coming out of turn 1 there, pushing a bit too hard. And he's dropped back from him again. So now on the penultimate lap of this one. Vengeance leads ahead of Rishi. Rishi just not having the rear grip on the exit of the corners. So we head now on to the last lap of this one. Vengeance leads. The gap is 8 tenths between him and Rishi on the road. Now as it stands, Vengeance would still win the race. Rishi's time penalty would drop him to, as it stands, 4th position. But 3rd is very much possible. And there's a move here from Kilmore passing Smith for 5th place. Fletch up to 7th ahead of Cronmad. And Quinton looking to get past Gaiman. Smith got back through on Kilmore for 5th place. Looking at what's Quinton as he goes past the Red Bull and setting the new fastest up of the race. So that's him up into 12th place. And Havina's crashed out on the last lap. Havina has crashed out. Oh, and the Alpine has to go round as well. Let's hope that doesn't affect any of the other drivers. But here's Vengeance and Rishi. Two more turns to negotiate then for these guys. Vengeance is going to come around the last turn. And he's going to win this race. He wins the first race of the division sprint in the Pro-Am Formula Racing Series. So Vengeance wins. Rishi's time penalty will drop in to 3rd place behind Adam and 4th as well. He's missed out on the podium by 0.08 of a second. So Adam is second, Mello is third, Rishi fourth, Smith fifth, Kilmore crosses the line in sixth, Fletch is seventh, Cromad is eighth, ZHR is ninth, and I think Lee Wei King's going to lose 10th place to Quinton, actually. Yes, he is, because Quinton is right behind him. Gaming will be in 12th, and Pit Lane Express will be the last of the finishers home in 13th place. But it's Vengeance who's the race winner here in Bahrain. Adam being awarded the driver of the day. Not too bad there for him. The drivers are out onto the podium now. Vengeance from pole to flag. Couldn't have been a better start to the season for him than what we've seen. So your final race result then, Vengeance is your race winner, even with the time penalty. Adam is second ahead of Miller. Rishi down to fourth with his 8-second time penalty. Smith is fifth ahead of Kilmore and Fletch. Cromad ahead of ZHR. And it's Quinton who rounds out the top 10 and bagging the point for the fastest lap. Lee Wei King was 11th, followed by Gaiman. Pit Lane Express in 13th place. Hervina 14th despite crashing out. He was still classified as a finisher. Suggested, John Fans, Luke, Sweaty Saga and B were the drivers who did not finish the race. We've got some interviews coming up, so do bear with us 1 moment.
Hey Tom, can you hear
Yep.
us?
Yep, I can hear you now. Yep. Right, guys, we're going to do some interviews now following that event in Bahrain. We'll speak to. Who should we speak to? um, who should we speak to first? We'll speak to Adam first. If Yes, so Adam, from 15th place on the grid, a solid performance, pretty much kept out of trouble, even under the safety car, where we had quite a lot of melodies involving collisions and so many drivers pitting at the same time. How was it for you? Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much experience you've had on the F1 2021 game now, but how do you feel the difference with this particular game in comparison to 2020? Because obviously riding the curbs, it's much more sensitive, that can cause the car to spin itself, and of course the damage mod as well for this year. So you've got to be more careful with these machines, really, and the way you manage it, because now you can have barge board damage, you can have floor damage as well. It's not just with the front wing and the rear wing. Yeah, I can imagine. So it was definitely a lot of close racing going on out there. So we hope to see more of that over the season going forward. Thank you very much, Adam, for speaking to us. We'll go to Fletch next, who came home in a solid P7 despite spinning out at the beginning. Yeah, no problem. Fletch, you started fourth on the grid, and then you had front wing melodies on lap one, which caused the front wing damage, and it came at the end of lap two, and then the safe car brought the field back together, and through all the chaos that was going on, you were able to come home in a solid P7. Very good racing indeed. And how do you think the game has gone for you so far? Because there's a lot of sim leagues out there who have not quite started their season yet on F1 2021. They're waiting for the latest performance patches. But how, from your experience, how you've seen the game gone for you in like either time trial or breaking points or my team? Describe it from your perspective. Yeah, and most definitely a lot of single lap pace to work on for a lot of the drivers anyway, because obviously a one-shot qualifying is you get that one shot, a bit like the old Formula One days in the mid-noughties, where you have that one lap to do, and one lap only. If you overdo it, it's a back of the grid start, but you managed to get a good lap in to put yourself in fourth place, and then after that spin, the one that sent you to the back of the field with the new front wing going on, and now and from there on you went on to come home in a good P7 and 6 championship points to your name. We'll go to gaming next. I'd have thought you would have been more at the front. I mean, you qualified a good P7 there, and where did it go wrong for you?
Where to start? I was really just wanting to get the car across the line for qualifying. Didn't want to risk it too much in case I made an error and started at the back. So I wasn't too concerned about qualifying. As for the race, I think my teammate had a bit of contact at turn 3, and then I had tried to go on the outside, got too much curve, spun, and then the safety car helped bring it all back together, but I think going on the softs, the wear on them got to me, whereas everyone else was either too far ahead or late pits, they caught up to me. So not the end of the world, but not the best performance for me.
No, but I'm sure we can see a lot better performances in the coming races. I mean, I don't know what rounds or what circuits we'll be using for this season in the division sprints, but which circuits are you most looking forward to throughout the season coming up?
I've got a few favourites. Unfortunately, with the new game and the new patch, you can't do too much investing with setups and getting used to tracks. So, but my preferred tracks are Japan, Hungary. I don't mind Russia and France. They're probably my strongest tracks. So we're using the same calendar as the Sunday division. So next week is Spain, which is another decent track I like to race on. But like everyone else has said, it's a new game, new physics, and with the understeer and the curves, I think everyone's on a level playing field with what tracks they do and don't like this year. So, yeah.
Hard luck there, Gaming, but we do hope for better luck next week in Barcelona. I mean, it's a proven ground for a lot of the drivers, so it'll be a good opportunity to rebound from the maladies of today. Well done for competing today and coming out in 12th position, as there were quite a few drivers that did not quite make it to the end of this one. Well, that's all for today, folks. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it, and we do hope to see more of that in the next round of the championship in Barcelona in a week's time. 11:30 British Summer Time. That's 11:30 a.m. British Summer Time for your information. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the PAFR returns.